Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture, and today is Thursday, which means Throwback Thursdays, and this is the 15th episode of it. And on top of that, we're moving on to the next decade. So this decade is going to be the 2000s. And the first album that we're doing today is Destiny's Child third album called Survivor. Came out in 2001. So I have been a pretty big fan of Destiny's Child. For a while, I couldn't tell if it was because I was just around them and they came out when I was kind of being more acknowledged of the fact that I knew who was singing what. Because I feel like as a kid, you know the songs, but you don't know who's singing until you get maybe like, I'll speak for myself, like around 10, 11, when your mind starts actually like, okay, who's this, what's this song, kind of thing. And I feel like that's kind of what happened with me. So I've heard Writings on the Wall. I've heard the first Destiny's Child that came out in 1998. I've heard it and also went backwards to hear it again when I got more acknowledged. I was like, okay, I do like Destiny's Child. I need to go backwards to listen to their songs to kind of put the two together. Because I've heard the songs. I just don't know what they're called. I don't know the history behind it. So, of course, I went backwards literally around the same time in 2001 and just fell in love with Destiny's Child completely. And this album actually was one of my favorite albums. I think it's my favorite Destiny's Child album completely. I love the Writings on the Walls. I really, really do. But this one is just, it's so much brighter. It has more, I think it leans more into more pop direction, but I also feel like it talks about things. It talks about a lot of like surviving different situations, and they hit you in different situations with it too. So after each song, there's an interlude that goes like, I will survive this, I will survive doing this, I'll survive being this. And after that interlude, it goes into a song that's kind of familiar with that topic. So in this Destiny's Child thing, let me give you a little background of them. So first of all, Destiny's Child is a 3-person group, started off as 2 because it was just Kelly and Latavia, and they were friends in Houston, Kelly and Latavia, Beyonce and Latavia, they were friends in Houston, and then they found and then Kelly joined in, and they made Girls Time, and they performed on Star Search in 1990, and then after all that stuff kind of happened, Beyonce's manager, or dad, became the manager and pretty much added LaToya Lockett to add to the 4 to make the iconic 4. And that's how and the 4 stayed with the first 2 albums. After the first 2 albums, it kind of moved on. There's a lot of issues going on. Hashtag pretty much Latavia and LaToya pretty much felt like there was a lot of favoritism with Beyonce, going towards Beyonce mostly, and a little bit of Kelly too. And they wanted to have a thing where they wanted to remove having Beyonce's dad be the manager and just have a different manager. They weren't looking to kind of leave. They're more looking just to be in a different space where they all had equal creative freedom, and also just had more just freedom in general to say and do and have more opinions on things. I feel like it unfortunately backfired on them for unfair reasons. Pretty much what happened is that they found out that they were being replaced after they released, Destiny's Child released a song and music video called Say My Name, and inside the music video were 2 other people that had no idea, that everybody, even the fans, were just like, oh, who are these people? Which is Farrah Franklin and Michelle Williams. So LaToya and Latavia weren't really happy about that, and they sued everybody, but mainly sued the dad, and they settled with Beyonce and Kelly, and the dad it seemed like it kind of faded out. But yeah, so there was Farrah Franklin for a minute with Michelle, and then Farrah kind of filtered out. The fans didn't get it. We didn't understand what's happening, because I don't think internet was as big then. I felt like we all had like places to go to computers, but we didn't have our own computers with us, from what I understand, or at least my own house. So this what had happened after that is that then they had Farrah for a minute, but she drifted away because she didn't like the whole negativity that was going on with Destiny's Child, and also she was also seeing the same thing that LaToya and Latavia were seeing as well. Michelle decided to stay, and thankfully Michelle ended up staying long enough to where she got her own parts. Like I felt like Survivor, this album, they finally decided to give a little bit of freedom to the other artists, Kelly and Michelle, and have them sing verses, have them have their own little verses sometimes, and I feel like it's a start in this album when you start seeing that, but it's still the Beyonce show. It's still pretty much where you can still feel the direction of what Latavia and LaToya was talking about, which is, I completely agree, because you can just feel it. The whole time, it's completely more Beyonce and the girls than it is Destiny's Child. But I felt like thanks to this album and thanks to the response to this album, people are like, okay. They went off to their own thing, to their own little solo albums, and then got together and made Destiny Fulfilled. It came out 2006. So, and that one even more got Kelly and Michelle got their own kind of solos, and to the point that even Kelly's issue with going with her abusive ex pretty much took a good couple of songs, or a good chunk of the album, to kind of work that out. And she even got basically her own song with one of the songs. I think it was Bad Habit, I think it's called. So, but back to this is what I'm reviewing. So, first of all, we are here with this album, and there's a lot of songs that pretty much have huge, huge, people really liked it pretty much. And so, first of all, there is Independent Woman Part 1, which was recorded for the Charlie's Angels movie and soundtrack. And I really like it. It's pretty much talking about depending on yourself. And Survivor goes into a direction where it talks about pretty much surviving and somebody telling them they couldn't do it or they couldn't survive without them. And they show, like, I definitely can. This one was actually that song was actually written as a response to critics that pretty much were saying that the rotation of the roster of the group was being so confusing that they pretty much made it seem like it felt like it felt exactly like the elimination reality show called Survivor that was going out at the same time. So, yeah, I really like the song. I personally actually like Michelle's version, verse where she says, "After all of the darkness and sadness, soon come happiness. If I surround myself with positive things, I'll gain prosperity." I really loved it. I felt like it just sucked everything what you wanted to learn about the song was all in that piece. And I felt like that was great. Bootylicious, one of my favorite songs. I listened to that song tons of times when it came out, and even performed it live at this talent show one time, and I was just feeling my gay life. Didn't even know I was gay back then. I knew I was into guys, but I didn't know what gay was. And I was just singing this song like, Bootylicious, and I was like, looking back, and I was like, wow, I don't know how this middle school allowed me to do this, like, without any type of, like, hate. But it went well. But anyway, Bootylicious is amazing. There's a sampling of Stevie Nicks' Edge of 17, and it sounds really good. I honestly, unfortunately, everybody's gonna hate me for this, but I heard this song before I actually heard Edge of 17. So when I went backwards, I definitely did realize which one was more supreme than the other, but I definitely like this one. I definitely got this one first. Really love it. Nasty Girl is another song that's a little controversial because it's pretty much talking about how this girl is not so classy. She's walking around with less clothes on. They're like, put your clothes on. No one wants to see that kind of thing. But it honestly kind of mirrors a lot of what's going on with that kind of telling people what they should wear and telling people what they should be comfortable with and wearing, and because it makes you uncomfortable that they should change their shit kind of thing. And I think there's a little pieces to that, and I think it's it's just controversial type of song, but I love the song because it's so catchy, it's so like sassy, and the complete just they are not happy about this woman. It samples Push It by Salt and Peppa, and it also interpolates the Tarzan Boy by Baltimoria. Going into the next one I really like is Apple Pie Mode. Oh my god, I want to perform this live as a drag queen. I think it's to be so good. I just love the whole, like, I love the register of Beyonce's vocals in the beginning, and it's just, I love it. It just has so much, it just has so much swing to it. I just love it. Sexy Daddy, completely, as I got older, the more I understood the song, and the more I was like, this is me. This is completely what I want to be in this direction. Just going into a club and then see a sexy guy and just like, oh, Sexy Daddy. Like, it literally is one of my theme songs in the club, pretty much. Really love the song. Super catchy, super dancey. Everybody gets their own songs. I love the fact that we get a taste of Kelly Rowland's kind of fast-paced talk, singing, where she had a song called Work, which is like chicken minute, get it. And this one, she just like, she can only do that. She has it. Anyway, love that song. Independent Women's Part 2 is the next song I really like. It's so good. I love the whole interpolation of the entrance of the gladiators. The and what you think about a girl like me. I love that. I think it's so fun. I love the whole song. I love how it kind of gives you the same lyrics in a way, but there's a weird kind of switch around in the lyrics so much that it makes it perfect for a remix. Happy Face is a little nod I want to do, not to. It's so weird. It's a very weird song, but it's also a very grateful song. And then it gets weirder over time because Beyonce starts talking about she's flying, and you're like, what's going on? I remember, like, one of my friends had this kind of inside joke that we had, which is like, she's pretty much just on this Molly hit or like ecstasy hit, and she's just she's floating up in the air because she's just feeling her hit, I guess. And it's just kind of funny. I think it's so silly. Side notes to things. I had the original album. I had every single album with Destiny's Child. So having Dance With Me and My Heart Still Beats featuring Beyonce didn't make any sense. I didn't like either of them. I thought they were just a complete waste of space. But it's on Spotify, which is kind of weird. Going into the ones that actually is on the actual album. Emotion is the next one, and I love this cover. This is the cover of a song sang by Aussie singer Samantha Sang, and written by Barry and Robin Gibbs, who are part of the Bee Gees. So, and it sounds like them, and it's a beautiful song. They did it their own little way, added a little more of an R&B feel to it. It's so great, it's so emotional, it's really good. The next song I really love, because I'm skipping past Dangerously in Love, because we already know that it's going to come with Beyonce, so if I end up doing Beyonce's solo album, I will probably have to talk about that song. If you want that album, but actually, because please let me know, because I'll in the comment, and I'll definitely kind of put that inside the row of this this series. The next song and final song that I really like is The Story of Beauty. This is an ode to a survivor of sexual abuse, and I know it's very dark, but the song pronounces everything face front. Like, there's no, like, she peeled off the skin of disaster. Like, it's not, there's no metaphors. It's straightforward. Here's the story. And it goes from, she's abused by their stepfather. She goes into, because she doesn't have enough self-worth, she goes into another relationship with another guy that's exactly like her father. And it's just a rotation of just disaster after disaster. But this is a common direction of what happens when you have these things happen. And it's very, 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 very dark, but it's so refreshing to have a group that mostly has a lot of dancey songs, that has a song that's like, we're going to be serious for a minute and talk about something real. And I love that. Shout out to Gospel Medley. I used to sing that a lot, even though I'm not Christian myself. And the outro with the thank you. I love the fact that there's used to be a time where we used to thank the artist used to thank the fans at the very end. That's the very last song. They don't really do that anymore, but I wish it would come back. It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really feel like it's unfair to rate. I think it's unfair to rate it because I really, really love it. So, but I will do it anyway. I give this well, actually, yeah, I will rate it. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 because of the songs that popped out of the random spots. Like, also Perfect Man is another one's like, what? But anyway, that's pretty much it. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you like this album, you have any history with this album, let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell too, so you get more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.